In this video, you will learn how to create a Git repository in your GitHub account and upload an application with source code files to it. Let's get started. Step 1. On the left side, click Create a Repository. Enter the name and a description. Make it a private repository, don't add a README file. Click Create Repository. After the repository is created, GitHub shows Git commands to run on a Git command line interface to populate the repository with a README file. You won't do that. Instead, you'll run the Git commands to upload, or in Git language, commit and push the files to the repository. You may pause the video here. After you have created the repository, resume the video. Step 2. Clone the remote repository to your computer. A repository on GitHub is called a remote repository. A clone repository on your computer is called a local repository. To clone the repository, first, create an empty directory on your computer, copy its path, then, open the Git command line interface. You may pause the video here. After you have created the directory and opened the Git command line, resume the video. Optional step. If you are a new user, set up Git to remember your username and email. This would be useful when you commit files, as the username and email will be displayed on GitHub. Run the git config commands as shown on the screen. You may pause the video here. After you have configured user details, resume the video. Step 3. Navigate to the empty directory created on your computer. If you are using Windows, change the / to /. Then, on the GitHub page, click the copy icon to copy the URL of the remote repository. You may pause the video here. After you have copied the URL, resume the video. Step 4. On the Git command line, enter the git clone command with the URL to clone the remote repository to your computer. Enter the GitHub username and password when prompted. Open the directory you created. A directory by the name of the Git repository is created in it with a .git subdirectory. Do not rename, delete, or update the contents of the .git subdirectory. You may pause the video here. After you have cloned the Git repository, resume the video. Step 5. Copy your application files and directories to the cloned repository directory. On the command line, navigate to the cloned repository directory. Notice the master label. It indicates you are in a Git repository directory of the master branch. Master is the default branch. You may pause the video here. After you have navigated to the Git repository directory, resume the video. Step 6. Stage all files. This is required to commit the files. Use the git add command to stage the files. An example of the command can be seen on the GitHub page too. Then, run the git status command to see the status of files. You may pause the video here. After you have staged all files, resume the video. Step 7. After verifying, run the git commit command to commit staged files to the local Git repository. Then, run the git push command to push the commits from the local Git repository to the remote Git repository. In the command, origin is the default name of remote repository. You may pause the video here. After you have committed and pushed all files, resume the video. Step 8. Refresh the page on GitHub and browse through the committed files. That's it. In this video, you learned how to create a Git repository, how to upload an application's source files to the Git repository using a Git command line interface. Thanks for watching.